Unbeknownst to her, a single dad CEO fell for the incredible woman behind the camera at a wedding. Jake stood in the corner of the expansive hall, heartbeats pounding with the electric energy of the wedding celebration around him. The laughter, the clinking glasses, and the swirl of elegant dresses pulled him into their rhythm. Yet, amidst it all, he felt like a lone sailor adrift on a sea of couples and family, a dedicated single dad trying to navigate the tumult of his new tech startup while raising his spirited daughter, Lily. Jake watched Lily twirling on the dance floor, her face illuminated with pure delight. Every laugh she shared mirrored the love that constructed their little home. But under that surface gleamed the weight of endless deadlines and the lingering skepticism of a society judging his choice to raise her alone. He took a deep breath, reminding himself of the American dream that had pulled him here. Success was the lighthouse guiding his weary heart. Just then, he caught sight of a woman, camera in hand, framing moments with practiced ease. Her name was Mia, and her easy smile resonated like sunlight on a chilly day. The playful banter they exchanged felt as fluid as the champagne they toasted to. She was capturing not just couples but the whispers of love in their surroundings, the promise of togetherness, the bond of family. You realize weddings have overly complex traditions, right? He joked, gesturing to a couple awkwardly following a choreographed dance. Mia laughed, her eyes sparkling with mischief. Hey, I came here for the cake. Nothing beats wedding cake. As they traded witty commentary on that and more, Jake could sense the walls he'd built around himself starting to crumble. There, amidst the vibrant laughter, he felt a connection. This was not just a momentary distraction but an unexpected kindling of hope. But in his heart, uncertainty lingered, the fear of blending ambition with the pursuit of something genuine. Jake's thoughts shattered like glass as the announcements grew serious. In the midst of the celebrations, a local tech company had announced layoffs, an entire community suddenly teetering on the edge of despair. Reality crashed down around him, each word a reminder of the fragile balance he maintained, teetering between dreams and obligations. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. The wedding transformed from a palace of joy to a swath of anxiety. Jake turned to Mia, whose expression mirrored his concern. This hits home. This community. I've grown to care about these people, he admitted quietly. They were connected in their fight against life's adversities, inspiring each other through shared struggles, but could he stand strong for the community and still hold on to his individual aspirations? As the evening faded, the flickering lights above cast fleeting shadows, and he realized the weight of this moment would push him towards a decision that could either unify his heart or drive a wedge deeper within him. He looked over at Mia, the spark between them undeniable, yet coated with the hovering complexities of their truths. Would he finally understand what success truly meant? With a heart full of questions and a future scattered with possibilities, Jake felt the barest flicker of hope. What would he choose when the moment demanded everything? Jake's heart raced as he stood near the edge of the dance floor. He wanted to be there for Lily, but the tightening in his chest told him he was also wrestling with a new and confusing sensation: his growing connection with Mia. He tried to shake it off, but the sparks of their chemistry hovered around him like the soft glow of the fairy light strung above. Mia caught glimpses of him from behind her camera, her focus unwavering yet curious. The worry in his eyes didn't escape her notice. She approached him, her tone light, but with an undertone of sincerity. "Hey, you look like you could use some cake," she teased, a tempting smile breaking through the tension. "Cake? How will that help alleviate the looming cloud over my head?" he replied, managing a chuckle. "It's a very sweet cloud," she laughed, her optimism infectious. "Sometimes you just need the little joys to drown out the worries, right?" Jake couldn't help but smile. There was something about Mia that drew him in. She had a way of turning life's chaos into a shared joke, like an anchor in the unfolding storm. Yet the duality of his feelings weighed him down. Was it possible to find joy amidst the serious choices ahead? "Let us grab a slice," he finally said, wishing to distract himself from the thoughts buzzing in his mind. Together, they wandered over to the dessert table where the cake glistened under the lights like a prize to be claimed. As they picked at the slices, the ambience started to shift, laughter ringing out both from the dance floor and the small groups around them. Mia's carefree spirit brought clarity amidst the noise. In her presence, he began to feel lighter, the burdens of the world only a faint whisper. "So, what's next for you? Besides eating delicious cake?" she probed, her voice sweet but firm, compelling him to share. Jake hesitated initially, but he felt an urge to reveal a corner of his life that weighed heavily on his heart. "I'm trying to build a tech startup, but I have this constant worry. It's not just about success, it's about whether I'm enough for my daughter. Sometimes I wonder if I'm chasing a dream while neglecting what's right in front of me." The room quieted a bit around them, but Mia leaned in, genuinely engaged. "That's so relatable. Everyone has their struggles, but it sounds like you're really working hard for both your dreams and for Lily." Jake cocked his head at her. "You think so? Everyone seems so quick to judge a single dad, like I have to be somehow stronger or something." "Strength is acknowledging your vulnerability," Mia said, her gaze steady. "You handle things most wouldn't even dream of managing. That's strength." His heart raced with the tender weight of her words. In a world so often fixated on appearances, here was someone who saw beyond that. Her kindness woven with sincerity wrapped around him like a warm embrace, pulling him deeper into an emotional arena he wasn't sure he was ready for. Just then, the music changed to a slow ballad, and couples began to sway. Jake's gaze slipped to Lily, who was now dancing with a close family friend. Under the soft lighting, she looked happy, carefree. Mia nudged him lightly. "Dance with her. Show her how much you love her. That's what matters." With a deep breath, he nodded, a flicker of courage igniting inside him. Taking Mia's hand for just a moment before letting go felt like a leap into the unknown. Grasping the implications of actions he felt so strongly about weighed heavily, but as he made his way to Lily, he thought perhaps, just perhaps, embracing the unknown might lead him somewhere beautiful. With each step, the stakes became clearer. By opening his heart to Mia and his role as a father, could he find a balance? Could he be the man he wanted to be, not just for Lily but for himself? The dance floor beckoned, but the emotional wave of decisions rising in his chest loomed larger. What would he feel when he finally stepped on the floor with both his beloved daughter and the enticing possibility of a connection with Mia? Would he be brave enough to embrace the uncertainty ahead? Jake took a deep breath, feeling the warmth of the dance floor envelop him as he approached Lily. Her laughter echoed in the air, pure and bright, and for a fleeting moment, Jake forgot everything else. She spotted him and her face lit up with an infectious smile. "Daddy!" she squealed, rushing towards him with open arms. He bent to scoop her up, her joy wrapping around him like a soft blanket. "Let us dance, kiddo," he said, a grin spreading across his face. She nodded eagerly, her enthusiasm propelling them into the thrumming heart of the celebration. As they moved to the rhythm, Lily twirled, her dress fanning out like petals opening under the sun. Jake couldn't help but laugh as she swayed back and forth, mirroring the ebb and flow of the music. It felt freeing, a sacred moment that grounded him. Watching her happiness filled the spaces where his worries resided. Mia stood off to the side, watching them with a knowing smile. There was something in the way Jake interacted with Lily that struck her deep. It was a tenderness mixed with strength, a sincerity that contrasted sharply with the chaos often associated with adult relationships. She felt drawn to that light, wanting to step closer, but she respected their bond. As the song softened into a gentle ballad, Jake pulled Lily close, stepping in sync with her little steps. Her head rested against his chest, and for a heartbeat, everything else melted away. He felt light, unburdened, and all the chaos receded like the tide. "Daddy, you're the best dancer," she murmured. "You make it easy," he whispered back, burying his face in her hair, soaking in the moment. But soon enough, reality began trickling back in, and he caught Mia's eye across the crowd. Something subtle crackled between them, a tucked-away spark that made him wonder if he was ready to explore that connection. The memories of their earlier conversation whirled in his mind. Could he really pursue something new? When the song ended, Jake gently released Lily. "I'll be right back, okay? Stay here." With Lily safely waving him off, he walked towards Mia, adrenaline rushing through his veins. Each step felt heavier than the last, each glance from her felt like 1,000 unspoken words. "Hey," he said, his voice slightly shaky. "You really know how to take a moment and make it shine." "Thanks, Jake. You were incredible out there," Mia replied, her eyes sparkling with genuine warmth. The way she looked at him made the ground feel unsteady. He took a leap. "Can I ask you something? I mean, about this." He gestured between them, feeling the gravity of every word. "About us?" she asked, tilting her head, her gaze piercing through his uncertainties. "I'd love to hear what you're thinking." His heart raced as he opened up. "I don't really know what this is yet. I've not been the best at figuring out how to balance everything in my life. But with you, I feel something. Something good." Mia's smile faltered for just a moment, the weight of the moment hanging in the air. "Jake, it feels genuine. But I don't want to complicate what you have with Lily. No, it's not just about that. It's about me learning to be more than a father. To be happy," he said, his voice steadier. "To feel alive again. To include you in my life if you're open to it." Just then, Lily bounded over, interrupting their conversation. "Look! They're playing our song," she exclaimed, tugging at Jake's hand. Jake exchanged a quick glance with Mia, a mix of hope and hesitation swirling between them. How could he juggle everything? As they moved to join the dance floor again, he felt the question echoing in his heart. Was he ready for this? Could he be the man he wanted to be while also letting happiness in? As the music began to swell, he held tightly to Lily's hand, wondering if steps taken in joy were enough to balance the risks he faced. But that uncertainty simmered, waiting to be confronted. How far would he have to go to find his way through this new chance? Lily tugged on Jake's hand as they shuffled back to the dance floor, her small feet barely keeping up with the beat. The familiar melody flared up, and Jake swept her into a spin. Laughter bubbled out of her, pure and infectious, and for a moment, Jake surrendered entirely to the bliss of fatherhood. As Lily danced around him, the world felt right, though a knot of tension still nestled in his chest. He caught Mia's gaze again, drawn to her even as he held Lily, a tug-of-war between his past and the hint of something new. He pushed himself to enjoy the moment, but a tiny part of him remained anchored in uncertainty. "Watch me, Daddy." Lily twirled around, her little arms flapping like bird wings. "You're amazing." He cheered, clapping along to her antics. Every joy-filled gasp from her lips felt like sunlight pouring into the shadowy corners of his mind. Yet as the song transitioned into a soft tune, the thrill of the dance faded slightly, leaving room for reality to creep back in. There was Mia, still off to the side, a beautiful enigma that held his gaze against all reason. As the evening wore on, they found themselves gravitating closer together. Long after the kids were off finding snacks or twirling with friends, Mia stood near the edge of the dance floor, her expression reflecting a blend of curiosity and something deeper, maybe longing. "Hey," Jake said, trying to keep his voice steady despite the flutter in his stomach. "Can I steal you away for a moment?" "Absolutely," she replied, visibly brightening as she stepped closer. Jake led her away from the crowded dance floor, the music now a low hum in the background. "Lily's really taken to you, you know," he started, glancing over his shoulder to check if his daughter was still busy. Mia's presence relaxed him, but he still hesitated, words tangled up in his throat. "There's just something about you it's hard to put into words." Mia's brow furrowed slightly, a question dancing in her eyes. "Something about me?" "Yeah. Like how you connect with her." He paused, then added, "It makes me want to know you better." The spark of vulnerability between them fizzled for a moment, tension thickening the air around them. Mia's smile faltered again, but she steadied herself. "Jake, this whole situation, it's important to tread thoughtfully. I don't want to rush anything." Jake felt a pang of uncertainty, but he pressed on. "I get that. This past year has been all about survival for me. I've been so focused on being a good dad, I forgot how to just be happy." "You deserve happiness," she said softly, and for an instant, hope chased away the fear lingering in the back of his mind. "But it's like walking a tightrope. You have to find the balance, right?" "Exactly," he breathed, feeling the fog of indecision start to lift, if only slightly. Just then, a commotion erupted a few feet away, and Jake turned to see Lily, arms raised, laughing as she paraded a makeshift crown made from colorful party favors. "Mommy! I'm a princess!" Both Jake and Mia couldn't help but smile, but the moment of bliss was short-lived. As Lily bounded back, her eyes sparkling, Jake noticed Mia looking at her thoughtfully, a flicker of something indecipherable crossing her features. "Maybe I can't really balance it all," he admitted, attempting to mask the worry creeping back in. "Maybe it's not about perfection," Mia offered, stepping closer, their connection palpable. "Maybe it's about being willing to try." Jake's heart raced at her words, a soft flame igniting in his chest. Could they actually be willing to try together? At that moment, Lily ran straight into Jake's legs, breaking the weight of the moment. "Let us go back to dancing." Jake chuckled, glancing between the two most important women in his life. But as he took Lily's hand, a tightness swelled in him, reminding him of the choices ahead. "Okay, princess," he said, glancing back at Mia, searching for a hint of assurance. "Maybe we can find a way to be happy together." As they merged back into the dancing crowd, he sensed that this was just the beginning, a thread of possibility. Weaving its way through their lives, how far could they venture together before the ground shifted beneath their feet? Would the risks blend into something beautiful, or would the past catch up to him, unraveling everything? The music swelled again, bright and cheerful, flooding the air with energy. Jake held Lily's hand tight as they twirled back onto the dance floor, her joyful laughter ringing clear above the thrumming beat. But he couldn't shake off the emotional weight that lingered just beneath the surface. It was a celebration, yet he felt a storm brewing inside him, a mix of hope and anxiety. As they danced, Mia's presence loomed large in his mind. He caught fleeting glimpses of her, admiring her from a distance, an artist observing an intriguing subject. Each smile from his daughter reminded him of the happiness he craved, but Mia stirred something deeper, something uncharted. "Again, Daddy! Again!" Lily shouted, her cheeks flushed with excitement as she begged for another spin. Jake obliged, lifting her high above his shoulders, her tiny fingers clutching his hair as they circled around. Her squeals enveloped him, and he momentarily lost himself in her innocent glee, yet when he finally set her down, he glanced toward Mia. She stood near the edge, a slight smile on her face, but there was a shadow in her eyes. It tugged at his heartstrings, the realization that she, too, held a weight of indecision. "Hey, Lily," he said, lowering to her level. "Can you go grab some punch? I need a quick break." "Okay, Daddy. But hurry." She scampered off, the sound of her feet dancing across the floor fading quickly. Jake took a deep breath, his heart racing with anticipation. He approached Mia slowly, his pulse quickening with every step. "Mind if we talk for a minute?" He tried to keep his tone casual, but excitement laced his words. Mia turned slightly, a flicker of apprehension crossing her face. "Sure. What's up?" she replied, glancing around as if ensuring they wouldn't be overheard. "I just wanted to say you really connect with Lily. You bring out a side of her I've missed." The sincerity of his words buoyed him, as he saw a hint of warmth bloom in her expression. "I like seeing you two together." Mia chuckled lightly, but it felt tender, the kind that signaled something deeper. "She's extraordinary. You're doing a great job with her, you know." The spark in her eyes ignited something inside him. It was more than just acknowledgement, it was an invitation to share more. Thanks. It's been a journey, Jake said, his voice barely above a whisper. I've been scared, honestly. After everything, it felt safer to shut myself off. Building walls is easy, she said thoughtfully, leaning closer. But it also keeps out the good stuff. He met her gaze, heart pounding. Yeah. I guess I've been learning that the hard way. A soft smile tugged at her lips, and he felt a magnetic pull between them, an unspoken understanding lingering in the air. But just as he opened his mouth to say more, Lily appeared, her arms overflowing with colorful punch cups. Look, Daddy. I got you some. Her excitement broke the moment, pulling both adults back from the cusp of vulnerability. Mia knelt and beamed at Lily, the playful glimmer in her eyes returning. Wow. That's a lot of punch for a superstar princess. Lily giggled, her joy infectious. You can share it with us. Jake watched, an unexplainable warmth spreading through him. Seeing the two of them together so natural, so full of life gave him pause. Could he allow himself to embrace this strange and beautiful connection? As they each took a cup, Mia met Jake's gaze with a glint of determination. Let us not box ourselves in. We can figure this out, one step at a time. Agreed, he replied, feeling a rush of newfound hope. Maybe the balance they sought wasn't so unattainable after all, but the moment was interrupted again. The music changed to a soft ballad, painting the air with a more intimate ambience. Couples began to sway, finding each other for a dance. Come on. Lily pulled on Jake's arm. Let us dance. It's a party. Jake exchanged a lingering look with Mia, a silent acknowledgement that he wasn't ready to end the conversation yet. Okay, princess, he said, achieving a quick grin. And as he shuffled back toward the dance floor, he reveled in the moment. But still sensed shadows lurking. They had a lot to navigate, and real life wouldn't wait. As they began to move to the rhythm, Jacob felt a question form in his mind, urgent and raw. Could he really open his heart after all he had been through? Could Mia be the one to help him take the leap? He took a deep breath, steeling himself for what lay ahead. The dance floor spun, and with it, the possibilities of their connection. But just as he steadied himself among the crowd, a figure appeared at the edge of his vision. Someone from his past, someone who could turn everything upside down. Jake froze, the breath hitching in his throat. The lively chatter, the music, all of it faded away as his eyes locked onto the familiar silhouette standing at the edge of the dance floor. A sickening wave of dread washed over him. He hadn't seen her in years, not since things fell apart. Daddy? Are you okay? Lily's voice broke through his haze. Her small hand gripped his, grounding him as he forced himself to blink and focus. Yeah, I'm fine, honey, he managed, but his heart was pounding violently against his chest. The woman couldn't be here. Not now. Not today. But there she was, Carly, the mother of his dreams and the cause of his nightmares. The memories flooded back, laughter shared over candlelit dinners, a hopeful future that slipped through his fingers with one ill-fated argument. And then the day she left, taking with her a piece of his heart and the clarity of his once happy life. Mia's laughter rang out beside him, and he realized she was watching him closely, intrigued but concerned. He knew he had to take control, to breathe and not let panic tether him to the past. What's wrong? Mia asked softly, leaning in, her warmth soothing amidst the chaos growing in his mind. That's Carly. My ex, he stammered, his eyes darting back to the spot where Carly stood, now scanning the room. I didn't think I'd ever see her again, especially here. Do you want to talk to her? Mia asked, her tone careful, yet the way she said it made his heart swell. She was offering him a choice. He could face Carly, or he could keep dancing with the possibility of something new. His mind raced. Could he confront the ghosts of their relationship? Or would this meeting send him spiraling back into memories he wasn't sure he could handle? I don't know, he replied, his voice nearly a whisper. It feels like everything is shifting, and now look, Jake, Mia said, her tone gentle but firm. You've been so open with me tonight. Whatever choice you make, you can't let fear rule you. Not now. Not when things are finally starting to feel different. Her words resonated deep within him. She was right. He had fought so hard to move forward, to rediscover joys he thought beyond reach. And here, at this moment, was a pivotal choice. Would he let the past dictate his future? A sudden impulse sparked inside him. Okay, I'm going to talk to her. I need to know why she is here. Mia nodded, her eyes reflecting understanding and support. I'll wait here. Just take a breath. Lily tugged at his hand again, blissfully unaware of the storm raging in her father's heart. Daddy, are we going to dance? Please. Soon, sweetheart. Just give me a minute, he said, offering her a reassuring smile as they inched toward the edge of the dance floor. With every step toward Carly, memories twisted and turned in his mind. Faces once dipped in affection now bore the weight of regret. Questions swirled around him like autumn leaves in a gust, and before he realized it, he was standing before her. Carly looked up, her own expression a mix of shock and uncertainty. Jake, she breathed, and in that single word, everything hung suspended. Carly, he replied guardedly, scouring her face for answers he wasn't sure he wanted. The laughter and joy of the wedding melted into the bitter taste of unresolved feelings. A metaphorical bridge stretched between them, and Jake could feel the tension electrifying the air. What are you doing here? But just as she opened her mouth to respond, a sudden rush of voices from behind them interrupted. Hey! Carly! Over here! Shouted someone from the party, breaking their moment like glass shattering. Jake's heart sank. He could feel the reality shifting again, like a ground suddenly giving way beneath his feet. Would this chance slip away just as so many before it? Carly turned, confusion swirling on her features, and he realized he had only moments before her attention would be elsewhere. Opportunity remained, but would he dare to seize it? As she glanced back at him, time froze, leaving them in a delicate balance of potential. Would this moment hold the answers he sought, or would it only lead to more questions? Jake, she said slowly, uncertainty lacing her voice, we need to talk. The weight of her words hung heavily in the air. Would this encounter lead him into the past or finally help him move forward? Jake felt the heat rise in his chest as he stood opposite Carly, the past and present colliding in a dizzying swirl around him. She was here, in this very moment, where memories of love had once danced in rhythm to a bright future. Now, they haunted him like ghosts in the dim light of the festivity. Carly, he repeated, the name feeling foreign on his tongue. What do you mean, we need to talk? Her gaze darted nervously, searching for the right words. For a heartbeat, it felt like the air crackled between them. Then, with a deep breath, she steadied herself, her eyes softening. I didn't expect to see you. It's been so long. I wanted to see you, to explain, to apologize. Jake clenched his fists, clinging to fragility that threatened to slip away. He wanted to hear her out, but a part of him resisted. Apologize? After all this time? The urgency of her expression shifted, desperation creeping in. Yes, I know it was years ago, but I never meant for it to end like that. I've thought about you, about us. His heart ached with mixed emotions. Thought about us? You left, Carly. You broke everything. The anger bubbled up, sharp and bitter, but beneath it was a deeper hurt, buried under layers of lost time and memories. I know, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. And I'm sorry. I made choices I couldn't take back. But I've grown. I've changed. The hopeful glimmer in her eyes ignited a flicker of something Jake had buried deep down, a longing to understand, to know if any of it was worth salvaging. But could he trust her words after all that betrayal? Why now? He asked, skepticism lacing his tone. What brought you back? Why here? Carly hesitated, biting her lip as if weighing the honesty of her response. I came to the wedding to support a friend, but seeing you it made me realize something important. I can't change the past, but I want to try to set things right. Jake swallowed hard, understanding washing over him like a wave. He was standing at a crossroad, faced with the truth that she was right here, wanting to talk about a future that had once seemed so bright and was now darkened by hurt. Lily's voice broke through again, innocent and sweet. Daddy, when are we going to dance? She chimed, a lovely reminder of the life Jake had built since Carly left. Soon, baby. He forced a smile, his gaze flickering back to Carly, who was watching him carefully, searching for a sign of hope. You have to understand, Carly, I moved on. I have a daughter now. She's my world. Carly's expression softened, revealing a vulnerability that tugged at his heart. I know. And I'm happy for you, Jake. You deserve to be happy. I need you to know that I never stopped caring. Time hung in the air, the sounds of laughter and clinking glasses fading into a soft murmur. He searched her eyes, looking for a hint of the girl he once loved, the girl who held dreams and laughter. Was she really changed, or was this just another phase of the game they'd been playing for years? Why should I believe you? He said, a challenge in his tone that he couldn't fully mask. Because, she started, her voice trembling but firm. I'm here now. That has to mean something, right? Just as she spoke those words, a loud cheer erupted from the partygoers behind them. They turned instinctively, drawn back into the chaos of the night, where no one was waiting for revelations or decisions. Jake felt the moment slip away, the connection dissipating against the backdrop of distant music and laughter. He turned back to Carly. I can't do this right now. I need time to think. Her eyes filled with shimmering hope and fear held him in place as he took a step back. Don't disappear again, she called out softly, desperation coloring her voice. As Jake turned away, he felt as if he was walking away from both a beginning and an end, a hollow ache settling in. Could there really be a path forward? Could he afford to open up a wound that had only recently begun to heal? And as he made his way toward Lily and Mia, the question echoed, was this the chance he had been waiting for, or would it push him further back into the darkness of his past? Jake's heart raced as he walked toward the celebratory crowd, the vibrant music swelling around him like an ocean, ready to pull him under. Each step felt heavy with what he'd just left behind. Lily was dancing near the edge of the dance floor, her tiny feet moving in childlike abandon, a lively beacon of innocence that John couldn't help but smile at. As she twirled, her laughter chimed like little bells, bringing warmth to the icy knot growing in his chest. Mia caught sight of him and raised her glass, gesturing for him to join. Hey, Jake. Come on. We need you for a toast. He managed to wave back, forcing his expression to settle into one of fatherly pride while the storm inside him brewed. Yet the moment Carly's eyes lingered at the far edge of his vision brought the swirl of emotions crashing down once more. It was hard, so hard, not to look. Daddy! Lily squealed, her face lighting up with glee as she ran up to him, her tiny arms wrapping around his waist. Can we dance now? Of course, Pumpkin, he said, lifting her effortlessly into his arms. Let's show everyone our moves. As he swayed with her in his arms, the music enveloped them, and for a brief moment, Jake surrendered to the joy of being a father. But just a beat later, the corners of his mind drifted back to Carly's words. I never stopped caring. What did that even mean? He had spent so long building his own fortress, a life he thought could keep out what had hurt him before. But now those walls felt perilously thin, swaying in the face of a past he thought was buried. As they danced, Lily leaned her head against his shoulder, the trust and love in her small weight anchoring him. Daddy, are we going to see Aunt Carly again? She asked casually, her blue eyes sparkling, as if it was the most natural thing to say. Jake faltered for a second, the question swirling with confusion and hope. I don't know, sweetie, he finally managed to say. Maybe. She interjected with innocent excitement, I like her. She's nice, and she smiled at me. Can we be friends? Friends? The word sat on his tongue, heavy and strange. The idea that Carly could be part of their lives again felt impossible. Yet the glimmer of hope lit up by his daughter's sincerity warmed a part of him that had been frozen for years. He set Lily down, letting her join other children flitting around the floor as he stepped aside, allowing his mind to race. He thought back to Carly's eyes, the way they searched his. There was sincerity there, a depth he hadn't considered until now. What kind of changes had she truly gone through? Taking a deep breath, he glanced over his shoulder toward where she stood, now engaged in conversation with another guest. His heart clenched at the sight of her, the way she effortlessly commanded the room, her laughter ringing above the rest. Did he truly want to shut that door entirely? The wound was still tender, but maybe it didn't have to be. Just then, Mia sidled up beside him, tilting her head curiously. You good? You've been looking a little distracted. Just thinking, he said, voice low as he stole another glance at Carly. About her? Mia gestured, following his gaze before giving him a sympathetic smile. You know, it might not be so bad to have a little conversation. Sometimes, it's our past that reveals our future. Jake sighed, the weight of Mia's words hovering in the air. I don't know, it feels complicated. Complicated can be good, she replied, nudging him playfully. Life is messy, Jake. Don't shy away from it. Love isn't always black and white. Her encouragement and unyielding belief in the potential for second chances struck him. This was a moment, a decision point, but what path would it take him down? Before he could respond, a loud cheer erupted from the crowd, drawing attention back to the stage where the wedding couple was about to cut the cake. Come on. This is a chance to celebrate. Mia pulled him along, an excitement in her eyes that refused to let the heaviness hang over him for long. Jake hesitated, his gaze drawn back to Carly one last time. As he followed Mia toward the celebration, he felt the familiar ache of longing battling with doubt. Suddenly, it didn't feel like the end anymore, but the beginning of a chapter he had always thought closed, but had it really closed, or was it merely waiting for him to turn the page? With that thought, he stepped into the light, ready for what lay ahead. Would he dare to confront the past, or would he let it follow him into the shadows once more? The moment Jake stepped into the radiant glow of the celebration, he felt an energy surge through him. The air shifted, charged with anticipation, and for a second, the memories of the past faded, replaced by the vibrant laughter and clinking glasses surrounding him. All right. Who's ready for some cake? The wedding planner's voice boomed through the crowd, causing a ripple of excitement. Jake allowed himself to be swept away by the deluge of joyful chaos. Mia's infectious enthusiasm pushed him onward, and he couldn't help but smile as he observed Lily bouncing around with her friends. Here's to love! Came a shout from the front, and the gathered guests raised their glasses in unison. Jake clinked his glass with Mia, trying to shake loose the nagging thoughts weighing him down. But every time he laughed, every time he absorbed the jubilation around him, he felt Carly's presence pulling at the edges of his mind. Hey, Mia said softly, leaning closer as they took a few steps back to watch the festivities unfold. You really should talk to her. I can see you're torn, but it's written all over your face that you're still in love with her. Jake's breath caught. The words seemed to echo between the beats of his heart. I'm just afraid of what that could mean. What if she hasn't changed? What if I have? Mia raised an eyebrow, her expression a compassionate mix of disbelief and encouragement. You won't know unless you do it. Maybe you're surprised at what could come from a simple conversation. Before he could respond, the crowd erupted again, laughter bursting through the air as the bride playfully smeared frosting on the groom's nose. It was an idyllic scene, but Jake felt distant from it all. A single vision filled his mind, Carly's smile. I don't think I can do this, he whispered, his throat tight. But you're already here. Mia shot back, her voice animated with hope. What's stopping you? fear of the past. Or maybe something else entirely. Jake turned his gaze back to Carly. She was radiant, holding court as friends surrounded her. The way she laughed, the sparkle in her eyes, it stirred something inside him, defroze parts of his heart he thought were long gone. Her presence flickered with all the years they had shared, the laughter, the heartaches, the dreams shattering and reforming again. That he mustered up courage, taking a half-step forward. "You're right, Mia. I should at least say hello. I really should." "Go on," Mia urged, gesturing for him to move. "Just be honest. You can do this." With every step he took toward her, his heart hammered louder. He could feel the warmth of the crowd as if they too were drawn into the magnetic pull of that singular moment. Carly looked up as he approached, her laughter fading into a surprised stillness. The world around them blurred, and for a heartbeat, he was drawn into those familiar, deep-set eyes. "Carly," he began, words tumbling free without the layers of doubt that usually muffled them. "Can we talk?" She blushed slightly, the surprise giving way to a look of curiosity mixed with a hint of nostalgia. "Jake. Hello. I didn't expect to see you here." "I know. I didn't either." He swallowed hard, his heart racing as he kept her gaze steady. "There's something I want to say." But before he could continue, Mia's voice, a soft yet clear reminder of his resolve, flitted through his mind. "You won't know unless you do it." The sound of the crowd dissipated as he locked onto Carly in the center of it. He took a deep breath, gathering every ounce of strength he had. "I've been thinking about everything about us." Carly's expression changed, an unreadable mix of emotions that felt both familiar and terrifying. Just as he was about to speak again, the poignant sound of a toast rang out from the crowd. "To new beginnings." And as he stood there, with the words quite literally teetering on the edge of his tongue, he realized some choices, once made, could change everything. Would he dare to break the silence between them and reignite a flame he thought extinguished? In that moment, the world spun a little faster, and Jake knew he was standing on the precipice of something monumental. What would he say next to bridge the gap of years and distance, and would it be enough to court the future if it meant confronting the past? Jake stood there, heart racing, feeling the world around him fade into a distant hum. The radiant vibrancy of the wedding celebration unfolded behind him, the laughter, the joyous music, but all his focus zeroed in on Carly. With the years between them hanging like thick fog, he felt both the weight of nostalgia and the sharp sting of past pain. "I've missed you," he finally murmured, letting those words escape as if they had been locked inside for years. Carly's eyes widened, vulnerability shining through. "I've thought about you too, Jake. Every day." The honesty hung between them like a tender thread. In that moment, the chaos of the party faded, the world outside almost non-existent. "I never stopped caring," he continued, needing her to understand the depths of his feelings despite the hurt. "I had to move on, to build a life for Lily. But seeing you here, it makes everything so complicated." Carly nodded, her gaze steady. "I know I hurt you, and I'm sorry. I've done a lot of thinking and growing since then. I didn't come back to disrupt your life, but rather to try to make amends." His mind flickered back to the warmth of her laughter, the sweetness of their dreams, and how easily it had all shattered. But now, standing there, he felt those old emotions stirring, twisted with uncertainty and hope. "Do you think we can really move past everything? Are you really different?" "I've spent years working on myself," she said earnestly. "I want to show you that I can be the person you once needed." As he searched her eyes, he was struck by the sincerity within. The past whispered desperately, "Don't believe her." Yet a flickering light urged him to reconsider. Moments of clarity shone brightly amidst his doubts. "I want Lily to know you too," he finally said, his voice steadying. "But it'll take time. I can't rush back into anything without knowing it's real." Carly's expression softened, warmth spreading. "That's all I ask, Jake. Just a chance to show you how much I've changed. At that moment, a burst of laughter erupted nearby, pulling Jake's attention back to the jubilant wedding. Lily was at the center of it, twirling in her party dress, her laughter like silvery bells filling the space. The sight of her beaming face fueled his resolve. She deserved a full life, with the possibility of joy, not only held captive by the past. As he turned back to Carly, a newfound courage surged through him. I think it starts with small steps, he said, his heart racing with hope. Maybe you could meet Lily next weekend. I need her to feel safe, to feel like we're solid. Carly's smile widened, a spark of joy igniting in her gaze. I'd love that. I want to be part of her life, part of yours again. In that moment, Jake felt the tight knot within him begin to loosen. Life wouldn't be perfect, it was messy and uncertain. But perhaps it didn't have to be either or. There was room for complexity, for both the shadows of the past and the bright possibilities of the future. Let us not waste this chance, he smiled, genuine warmth spreading over him, surprising him with its intensity. Let us figure it out together. Before he could say anything more, Lily bounded over with a huge smile, wrapping her arms around Jake's waist. Daddy! Can we put the princess crown on Carly? Jake glanced at Carly, amusement bubbling between them. Sure. But I think it might be a little big. As they all laughed and played together, Jake's heart swelled. He was diving into unknown waters, yet it felt invigorating. He dared to hope, to open doors he had kept locked for so long. Surrounded by the chaos, laughter, and uncertainty that filled the air, he realized he wasn't just rediscovering love. It was a transformation, a chance to embrace everything life had to offer. Jake squeezed Lily's hand and caught a glimmer in Carly's eyes, bright and inviting. Together, they danced on the edge of a new beginning, ready to take on the world one joyful step at a time, and as the music faded into the night, Jake embraced the moment, filled with warmth as hope poured in, replacing dread. Now was the time to reclaim joy, to embrace the future, and to ignite the possibility of love once more. Don't wait not even one more second. Subscribe immediately to our channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and keep the magic going. Comment your reactions and feelings about this ending because we want to hear from you. And if you know friends who need to see this transformation, share instantly, and spread the inspiration to at least 5 people. You need to support this channel with your actions.